He didn't call a meeting. He didn't warn anyone. He didn't even say a word. One day, her name just vanished. After nearly 20 years on the payroll, after designing royal homes across England and Wales, after quietly building a life inside one of the most powerful estates in the world, Annabel Elliot was simply gone. No goodbye, no statement, no explanation. And the man behind it? Prince William. Let's talk about what really happened. Because this wasn't just about a job ending. This was about power shifting. Quietly, coldly, completely. Today we are diving into a story that many people think they understand, but they really don't. It starts with a death. It moves through decades of silence, and it ends with a decision that may change where a queen lives for the rest of her life. Accounts from journalists and insiders reveal something deeper. This was not sudden. This was not emotional. This was planned, and it goes back years. On September 8, 2022, the world watched as Queen Elizabeth II passed away at Balmoral. It looked like a moment of mourning. But behind the scenes, something else happened instantly. Power moved. King Charles III became king. That part was clear. But in that same second, something quieter happened. Prince William became the Duke of Cornwall. And that meant one thing. He became the owner of a $2 billion empire. $135,000 acres, 23 counties, castles, farms, cottages, islands, almost 700 years of history handed to one man in a single moment. But here's what many people don't know. This was the same estate that had funded Charles's life for decades. The same system. The same money. The same power. And inside that system, there were people. People placed carefully over time, including one very important name, Annabel Elliot, Camilla's sister. For nearly 2 decades, Annabel had worked. Inside the duchy, she designed interiors. She shaped royal properties. She built influence. But insiders say something else. She never competed for the role. She got it because of one connection. Her sister, Queen Camilla. And for years, that worked. No one challenged it. No one removed her. No one even questioned it loudly. Until the day William became her boss. And then, silence. No meeting, no drama. Just a document. The duchy's annual financial report. A dry, boring file that almost nobody reads. But this time, people noticed something strange. Her name was missing. That was it. 20 years. Erased in a line. One insider said it felt like a message. Another said it felt like a warning. And a third? They whispered something. Colder. This was only the beginning. Because removing Annabel wasn't just about money. The numbers were small. Around $20,000 to $80,000 a year. Nothing compared to a $1 billion estate. But the meaning? Huge. It told the entire royal system something very clear. The old rules were over. And that's when people started asking a bigger question. If William could remove her sister so easily, what happens next? But there's more to this story. Because this didn't start in 2022. It didn't start with a job. It didn't even start with power. It started with something far more personal, a marriage, a betrayal, and a young boy watching everything. Let's go back, before titles, before estates, before quiet revenge. Back to a time when Princess Diana was still alive. Royal insiders remember something very different from what the public saw. On the outside, Diana was loved, beautiful, confident. But inside the palace, things were falling apart. According to staff and close sources, there were nights when Diana would walk the halls alone. Sometimes at 3 a.m., sometimes crying, sometimes asking a question that shocked people. Am I beautiful enough? And when they said yes, she would shake her head. Don't lie to the princess. What many people don't know is how deep that pain went. because at the center of it was King Charles III and his relationship with Queen Camilla. The affair wasn't just a rumor. Diana herself said it. There were 3 people in this marriage. That sentence changed everything. Now imagine 2 young boys watching all of this, Prince William and Prince Harry. They saw their mother slowly break. They saw the tension. They saw the silence. And they remembered. Years later, when Charles decided to marry Camilla in 2005, something important happened. William and Harry went to him privately. They made one request, not a demand, a request. They said they would accept her, they would support him, but please don't marry her. According to Harry's book, that was the moment, the line, the boundary. But Charles went ahead anyway. The wedding happened, and something else happened too. A quiet agreement. Camilla would not be called queen. She would be princess consort in the future. That was the deal. William accepted it, publicly. But, insiders say, he didn't forget. Then came 2022. Just months before the Queen passed away, she made a statement, a very important one. She said she wanted Camilla to be known as Queen Consort, not Princess, Queen. People thought it was kindness, forgiveness, but insiders say something else. They say it was fear. One source said she was containing something. Another whispered she knew what was coming. And then, in 2023, something changed quietly. The word consort disappeared. Just like that. No big announcement, no drama. Suddenly, it was just Queen Camilla, the title she always wanted. And William, he said nothing. No public reaction, no comment, just silence. But insiders describe that silence as heavy, careful, controlled. Because behind the scenes, a pattern was forming. Camilla had influence, not loud, not obvious, but steady, according to Royal. Biographers, she would speak to Charles privately. She would share opinions, shape perspectives, guide decisions, slowly, quietly. And then there was the press. Stories would appear, some positive, some damaging, and many inside the palace believed. They were not random. One example, the story that Meghan Markle made Catherine, Princess of Wales, cry. It spread fast. It caused tension, and insiders later said it wasn't true. William saw all of this. He didn't react. He didn't argue publicly. He just watched and waited. Then came the moment that changed everything. On that particular occasion, it didn't happen in private. It didn't happen quietly. It happened in front of the world. September 2025. A state visit. Donald Trump and Melania Trump were at Windsor Castle. Everything looked normal. Formal smiles, cameras flashing. Then something small happened. Very small, but people noticed. Catherine, Princess of Wales, was speaking, warmly with Melania. The moment felt natural, easy. Then, Camilla stepped in. She didn't say a word. She didn't raise her voice. She just made a hand gesture. Short, firm, clear, move. A body language expert later said it looked like she was pulling rank, almost pushing Kate aside. In public, in front of cameras. The clip spread everywhere. Millions watched it, replayed it, slowed it down. And inside the palace? People reacted fast. One insider said, "That crossed a line." Another said, "William took that personally." Because this wasn't private anymore. This was public. A message sent to the world. But something else was happening at the same time. Something quieter, more serious. King Charles III was ill. Cancer. And insiders say he began having private talks with William. Important talks. Personal ones. One message stood out. Leave Camilla alone. Protect her. Don't push her out. Think about that. A king asking his son to protect his wife after he's gone. That tells you something. But William didn't answer with words. He answered with actions. First, the payroll. Annabelle gone. Then, Christmas. At Sandringham, Camilla invited her son, Tom Parker. Bowles. William made his position clear. If Tom comes, he won't attend the main lunch. Camilla invited him anyway. Tom came. William didn't. He stayed at Anmer Hall with his family. That moment said everything, without saying anything. Then came the final layer, the one that changed everything. Homes, real homes. Because Balmoral and Sandringham, they are not state property, they are private, owned personally, passed down. And when Charles is gone, they go to William, immediately. Which means one thing. Camilla doesn't own the homes she lives in. Not legally. Not permanently. And the truth. She sold her only private house, Ray Mill House, the one place that was fully hers. Gone. So what happens next? That's where the story turns. Accounts from journalists and insiders reveal something. Simple, but powerful. When Charles is gone, everything changes. Immediately. Prince William becomes king. Catherine, Princess of Wales, becomes queen. And Camilla? Her title changes. She becomes Queen Dowager. A step back. A visible one. But the real power isn't the title. It's the homes. Balmoral, worth around $140 million. Sandringham, around $65 million. Together, over $200 million, and none of it belongs to Camilla. Not on paper, not in law. She lives there now. She walks those halls, sleeps in those rooms. But one day, she may need permission. From William. Let that sink in. The same man who removed her sister without a word. The same man who skipped Christmas. The same man who watched everything as a child. Many are questioning how this will play out. Will he allow her to stay? Will he limit access? Will he change her title further? Because history gives us a clue. When Charles divorced Diana, he removed her HRH title. William saw that. He remembers. And now, the power is his. Public reaction has been mixed. Some people say it's justice. Others say it's too harsh. Some say it's just how monarchy works. Cold, structured, unforgiving. But insiders say one thing clearly. This is not emotional. This is strategic. William is not acting in anger. He is acting with control. Slow. Steps, quiet moves, clear signals. And Camilla? For the first time in years, her position may not be secure. Because everything she built, every connection, every advantage, leads back to one point. Dependence. The woman who spent 20 years rising inside the system now depends on the man who inherited it. And that is the truth people are only starting to understand. These stories provide insight into something deeper. Not just royalty, not just drama, but power, how it moves, how it waits, and how, sometimes, it says nothing at all until everything changes.